Some gullible set of people went to Abuja to suggest to Mr. Wike that he should build accommodations for almajiris in Abuja. Here is his response.
The minister begins his presentation by giving details of the 1.7 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill.
The 2025 budget is aligned with the federal government budget parameters, comprising distributable revenue of 1.3 and non-distributable revenue of 391 billion.
The lawmakers commend the minister for the trajectory of his development in the territory so far and raise some concerns.
Looking at this budget on page 6, I saw, in my estimation, a factory of 78 billion. How would you utilize that 78 billion?
The indigent or the displaced persons roaming in Abuja. It is not enough as Nigerians driving them, arresting them. What you need to do is to do what the Kano state government did as far back as in the 70s. That is picking the indigents, if you know, and you have a camp where you can feed and train them so that they will be off the street.
In response, the minister rejects the advice to set up a housing scheme for displaced persons.
This federal capital territory, the way Kano, the way River, the way Sokoto, the way Ondo will not be the same way that will happen in the FC. Those you are talking about, they are not indigenous. As a city like this, with the federal capital territory, where you have
Okay, let me not just waste much of your time. You can watch the rest on channels if you want to get the full news. But this is my take on this video. One thing about Minister Wike is that you cannot blackmail minister. You cannot do emotional blackmail to Mr. Wike for him to make decisions. He doesn't make emotional decisions. He doesn't care about your feelings. He makes decisions on what is what and facts. That is one thing I love him. So if you like, you can hate him for that. But that is Minister Wike for you. Now, the reason why I called this bunch of elderly people gullible is in the sense that most of we in Nigerians are people who make decisions based on religious sentiment and called tribal sentiment. You understand? That is why I called them gullible. Why on earth you be in a position to present a budget to the Minister of FCT and the only thing that can come in your head are jobless almajiris? Now, there is nothing like people who can afford accommodations or whatsoever visitors. These are almajiris. Now, when they say born children who you can take care of, those people will not accept. Now, government budget, people are suggesting that you build house for them. That is why I'm saying the misprioritizing of things. There are people busting out their asses in that same Abuja in order to keep roof over their head. None of these people can come and said, okay, the budget is for houses to be built for civil servants, because the way things are becoming expensive now, people are serving 35 years and could not even afford to keep a roof over their head. How about we build houses for civil servants so that they can stay and will be deducting it bit by bit from their salary till they retire? The same way they prioritize kidnappers and the Boko Haram people over graduate, they will now rehabilitate them and give them a job who may graduate, a law-abiding graduate, is fighting to get. This is the same gullible decisions they are always making. And you expect me not to call these people gullible? These are a bunch of gullible, wicked people in positions where they have what it takes to make decisions, but they are always looking for the people who are contributing nothing to the society to empower. Almajiri is begging. What is their value to the GDP of the economy? How about you suggest that houses be built for civil servants? A bag of cement is around 10.5. Road is around 10.5. Most of the civil servants can't afford. They are tenant all their life. And you are making a proposal for almajiris. With time to come, that will be a den of kidnappers. It's just a tactics.